My name is Lauren. I am the maker behind the Vintage Knitting Party podcast. I like to knit, crochet and sew from vintage and modern patterns, and usually I do like a sit down podcast show and tell kind of style, and today's a little bit different. I wanted to do a bit of a video about like how I organize my stash. I'm not going to show you every single item that's in my stash, but just like where I keep it, how I keep it organized, and what I've got kicking about at the moment. Most of the time I watch these sorts of videos, I find them really interesting to watch, which is why I wanted to make one. And I know a lot of people talk about like, you know, there's no shame in having a tiny stash, no shame in hoarding a bunch of yarn. I completely second that disclaimer. The only kind of parameter that I have for myself is that like I don't want buying yarn to turn into a hobby of its own. I want knitting and crochet to stay my primary hobby, and then just like buy the things that I need to be able to service that hobby. I don't want to just be like accumulating stuff simply for fun. In saying that, I do try to buy a lot of yarn secondhand, so sometimes I have more in my house than I would usually want to, and at the moment that's kind of the case, but you know, when you find the perfect secondhand yarn, you just gotta buy it. It's the rules. And then the only other kind of parameter that I have around how much I keep is just the size of our house. We live in a fairly small house. It's perfect for us, but like relatively speaking. I don't have my own craft space anymore, and things are just kind of sprinkled strategically throughout the house. So let's just talk about where I keep things. We're in my bedroom at the moment. It looks a little bit different to my usual backdrop, and we are halfway through renovating our house. So if you see different colored walls, ignore it, it's temporary. I'll show you more cute stuff when we're actually done. The first place I keep yarn is right next to this armchair on the ground. Things are a mess, and I should have wound some of these up because my toddler was playing with all of this yesterday. But this is, I think I bought this as like a handbag like 10 years ago off of ASOS, and obviously it's a rubbish handbag because it's got all these holes in it, but it makes a perfect scrappy project type of bag because I can just pick it up and carry it all around with me. All of these colourful skeins of yarn are from the op shop. Every single one is secondhand, and then I have this creamy speckly sort of yarn. If you watch the podcast, you know all about this. This is what I'm making my scrappy crochet squares out of, and I'm working on a really huge blanket, so I just keep all of these together, and when it starts to look a little bit naked and empty, I go to the op shop and I just buy a bunch more random colors and replenish it, and that just always lives down here with my, what is this? Who's this by? Pearl and Hank. I think it's like a little leather notions pouch that my husband got me for my birthday, and I keep that in here with my crochet hook stuffed inside of it, so I can just take this into the garden anywhere I want to work on my crochet, and it's just a really convenient little nook to keep it beside this chair, and that's my bedside table, and then my bed's here, so everything's just kind of tucked away. So that's the first area that I am stashing yarn in my house. So this is, I'm sitting on the floor right now, if this feels like a different kind of angle. This is the second area that I stash yarn around my house. I feel like there's 4 in total, so we're halfway through maybe. I have this little bookcase, and on here I have like miscellaneous therapy, bird watching, different books. Down here I keep all my like knitting and sewing books. I have all my like liner 52 weeks of whatnot, and down here I have 150 crochet granny squares. So these are the squares that go with that project that I was just telling you about. They're super cutie patootie little color combos, and it works really well to just have them stacked up in the bookshelf. It's the perfect place to put them. I have no idea where I would put them otherwise. And usually in the corner beside me here, I keep a basket. So this just stays on the floor. This is what I keep my current works in progress in. There's a project bag on the top. Sometimes I still use project bags if I've got like lots of different size needles that I want to work with, and if I'm using a row counter, you know, basically like if I'm using anything that's a choking hazard, I'll put it all in a project bag. And if there's like a bunch of weird small things that I want to keep together. Otherwise, I've started putting my whips just like loosey-goosey in a basket. I have my vintage knit in here. and the back piece that goes with that, and then all the balls of yarn that are associated with that. This is part of a test knit that's meant to be in that project bag that I just showed you. I've got my Juno top and all the yarn associated with that. And then in the bottom, I've just got more like backup balls of the main color that I'm using for my crochet granny stitch blanket. And that's sort of what they look like. Usually it looks pretty neat, like neater than I just showed you. I haven't tidied any of this up for this video, I'll have you know. Usually it looks pretty neat and inviting to just have everything open and to be able to see what I'm working on, so I can just kind of grab a project and pick it up rather than having everything concealed in project bags. But the main reason that I found this basket at a secondhand store and I was like, that will do the trick, absolutely. The main reason that I bought it is because I keep my main stash of yarn in our little ones room. I have a cabinet in there, which is like my craft cabinet, and where I keep all my fabric, all my yarn, thread, tools, you know, stuff like that. And I was finding that I would use up a ball of yarn and then I didn't have the next, I couldn't just like go and get it because I would be working on things at night while he was sleeping. And it started to make a lot more sense to keep all of the balls of yarn associated with the project all together, and then if I had any scraps left over, I would move them back into like the scrap area of my stash. I hope that makes sense. And usually this looks really cute and like inviting, and like all the projects are like neatly sort of like folded in a way, wrapped up with their needles. And I actually don't find this to be too, like, obviously it's very intriguing for my toddler having like a ball of yarn on the floor. And he does go over and like have a look at things sometimes. He's never just in this room unsupervised, so I don't feel too worried about having like knitting needles out and about. I would never let him like run around holding them or anything like that. But I kind of just like let him have a look at them, and he'll pick a ball of yarn up and walk away with it and leave it somewhere. And then he's kind of over it. He much more enjoys grabbing the crochet squares and stacking them up and looking at all the cute colors, which is like really adorable. So I do, like, this is all just on the floor. I do freak out a bit when I've got like my beautiful vintage like knitting technique books here at toddler level, and he goes to like take them out and put them back in and take them out and put them back in, because obviously he's not like gentle yet, but he does really well. He's like he's very respectful yarn guy. So I do keep all of this out all the time, what I've just showed you, and he does really well with it. So if you're a parent and you're wondering, as I do often when I see these videos, I'm like, what do you mean you just keep your scissors on the floor? Like, what are you doing? This is working for me, okay? And I just keep changing the plan as things come along. So that's the second area that I'm keeping yarn right now. Now we're back out in my living room, which is where I would normally film. And I can't really show you the sort of setup that we have, but we have this little armchair next to our couch, and then there's like, this is the same as the armchair in our bedroom. Armchairs create a wedge when you have them on an angle, and it's just the perfect place to put baskets of yarn. So I have another basket of yarn. And this one, I remember getting this basket from the op shop for $1, which made me so happy. It's such a cutie. And this is where I keep all my sock yarn. So I, again, don't really have any troubles keeping it out here. For toddlers, moths, anything like that, yarn can always be wound back up again, like it's not going to get broken. And we have a very, like, there's a lot of light, a lot of airflow, like we don't really have any like enclosed areas where I keep my yarn that I'm worried about moths and things like that. And every secondhand yarn that I bring into my life I keep in the freezer for a week before it makes it into the rest of the stash, so also not too worried about that. I like to keep my sock yarn separate because I tend to use up little bits for like contrast, heels, cuffs, toes, color work and things like that, and I end up with like these little balls of yarn that don't have a ball band anymore. And I think if they were with all the rest of my yarn, I would just worry that I would kind of mistake them for just like any old fingering weight wool or a scrap, or I kind of would forget like which ones have nylon content or like which ones are designed for sock use, because obviously I want to have quite hard wearing socks. Like I don't want to just use any old finger and weight wool because I'm not that much a fan of darning. So there's a real mixture of different yarns in here. The one I just showed you and like this green one. These are all like Cascade Heritage sock yarns that I bought like pretty much like at the beginning of my sock knitting journey. I picked out a couple of colorwork socks that all used like similar colors so that I could use the same type of green across like a few different socks, and I bought quite a few skeins of this and I've quite liked it. It feels, yeah, like pretty hard wearing. The colors are pretty lovely. It feels like pretty good quality. It's very soft, so it gets very fluffy and pilly very quickly, but then once you've peeled, like de-peeled it a couple times, I feel like it kind of stops shedding, so it's not too bad. I've got a few other things like this Rosa Pomar sock yarn that's really beautiful, mustardy kind of color. She's gorgeous. And yeah, a couple of random like hand dyed yarns. Some secondhand in here, some that are like naturally dyed by a local lady that I get some off. So they're really beautiful and I love them. I feel, sorry, there's so much fluff flying around now. Apparently I have a lot of dust in my house, but the yarn that I keep in my room with like all of my works in progress, or like having the basket of different colored yarn for my scrappy granny square blanket, I just find it like really inspiring being able to see all of the colors and textures right there and not having it hidden away. And this kind of effect happens with you know, like my colorwork socks and scrappy socks and things like that. Even though there's pretty small quantities in here that I could really be putting in my scrap pile, like it feels like enough to like have a stripe in a scrappy colorwork sock or something like that. Like look at these three together, they're so cute. So I really do like being able to just have these out and being able to see them, and I find that a really inspiring part of my process. And those are all the yarns that I have in the common areas of our house, I suppose. This is the main cabinet that I keep my yarn in. It's in my little guy's room, so you can see that there's like baby paraphernalia up the top. I have a little chest thing that I keep my zippers and elastic and stuff like that in, and I'll show you inside of the cabinet. Some of this I'm going to have to do as a voiceover just because we are in the baby space, so there are going to be noises and things going on very soon. This cabinet I actually got off Marketplace. It was the first piece of furniture that I bought before we moved into our house. I got it for like $100 and they delivered it. I don't know much about the origin of it, but it's got these beautiful wooden motifs in here that are actually all carved pieces of wood that have been fitted together, and it's a child's wardrobe. So I'll open her up for you. On one side we've got shelves and drawers, and then on the other side it's like a bit squished in there, but there's a little hanger underneath for child-sized coat hangers, which is really cute. In the left-hand side of the cabinet, I've got my overlocker up the top and then two cardboard boxes for scraps. One for fabric scraps, one for yarn scraps. I don't have that much right now, which is nice, but I'm excited to fill them up. I've also got the rest of my like yardage of fabric, I suppose, up the top of the cupboard here. You can see all my autumn wintry ones on the left. And then on the right, I've got all of my spring summery kind of colors. And these are all a mixture of anywhere from new fabric to fabric that I've literally gotten from my local tip shop. So there's a lot there. In the first drawer, I have all of my sewing paraphernalia that goes with that, all of my thread, a couple of spools of overlooking thread. On the right, I've got this like super ugly Ziploc bag of buttons and belt buckles, you know, all sorts of things in there. All my other sewing notions, I really could have given this a clean up for you guys. I'm so sorry. But I've got pinking shears, measuring tape, chalk, extra sewing needles, apparently a tiny bit of lace, safety pins, all sorts of stuff going on. In the next drawer down, I've basically got like other needlecraft. I've got some like cross stitch and embroidery projects that actually came from my grandma's stash, which is really, really special that I'm able to own them. I have a jar of buttons at the back. I have all these extra dust bags that I've kept for, you know, project bags, and they just come in handy all of the time. I love keeping them. I've got my sock blockers. I've got flat knitting needles, lots of vintage knitting needles back there. I've got extra Ada cloth, I think it's pronounced, for cross stitch, and some stitch holders, which are always handy to have around. The third drawdown is basically just like extra leftovers. I've, for some reason, got so much embroidery floss. I don't even know how I accumulated this much, but she's there. I'll have enough for the rest of my life. I've got little quantities of fabric here on the right that I'm making baby clothes out of, and on the left, this is more just normal fabric for sewing. I've got probably enough fabric to last me a lifetime as well, and I'm really keen to get through some of that because she is stuffed in there. When I put all of my yarn in Ravelry, like my sweater quantities of yarn, it said there was about 15 kilometers worth, so I'm not going to take you through every single yarn, but this cabinet's pretty deep, so I'll just show you a couple at the front here. This is a Bendigo Woolen Mills 2-ply in the color Magnolia, which I'm really excited to use for some vintage projects that require that fine gauge kind of for yarn. This I got secondhand. This is Mark's Cotton, which is a combination of cotton and linen. And this is just a gorgeous natural color. This was $5. It's a bargain. It's this sort of stuff that I just can't leave behind, which requires me to have a stash because I think when you buy secondhand yarn, like, you kind of just can't avoid having a little bit of a collection. This one was $2 from the op shop. I'm so happy I have this, but it's very, very fine. So it's sort of like a thread weight. It's way finer than a lace weight. But I think this will be great for a vintage sweater. I've also got some other new yarn, which I've got like a smooth yarn and a fuzzy that I'm going to hold together to make a shawl, hopefully, as the weather gets colder. And this is also from Bendigo Woolen Mills. It's the 5-ply in the color Harvest Gold, and I can't remember what the fuzzy yarn is. I'm so sorry. And then the last thing that I'm going to show you just at the front here is some Rowan felted tweed that I'm also hoping to use in autumn. If you've made it to the end of this video, let me know what your stash organization setup is. It's just fun to talk about different kind of things sometimes and have a little peek into people's homes. I'm super nosy and I love knowing how people organize their stuff. If you also buy a lot of secondhand yarn and then like have to opportunistically stash some things, but you're also kind of a minimalist and don't love keeping heaps of things on hand, I would also love to know how you balance that kind of tension in your life, because it is a constant back and forth for me, and I think that's okay. I hope you all have a beautiful day. See you next time. Bye.